And a good morning, everybody. Welcome to Beach Talk Radio, episode number 159. We are broadcasting live, of course, from Pete's Timeout, 15 minutes early today. Before we get to our 9 o'clock hour and our water safety guests, we wanted to have Danielle back on from Blue Ribbon Events so Danielle can tell us exactly what's going on. Is this your final event of the season down here?
Beach for the season, yes. I have three more after this a little bit further north, but this is the final one in Lovers Cay.
Okay, so the Mermaid Fest. I feel like we just had a Mermaid Festival.
Well,
what's going on here? Is this a different event or is it?
No, this is the same one, but it will always be the first weekend in April. However, with COVID last year, we had to move it back to November.
All right, so it started yesterday. How was day one?
A little chilly for everybody, obviously. Definitely a little bit windy, but we had very good sales for many of the artists. Some of the familiar favorites are back. Isaac Brooks with all of his wooden carved fish is back. Michelle Chang with all of her marvelous, bright, colorful ceramic tile art for the wall is back as well. They're always two of the crowd favorites.
And the event is held down at Lovers Cay across the street from the entrance in the big lot?
Yeah, in the big event field there.
Okay, so what is the admission and all that and the parking so people know where to go when they come down?
So parking is free. Admission at my events are always free to the public. There is no admission for anything to get into any of our events. We have a lot of side events going on. Renee from Fort Myers Beach Wellness will be with us doing 10 o'clock yoga today and tomorrow. We also have the Marine Resource Task Force is there with a whole bunch of their team. We have Turtle Time first thing in the morning. We've got Ranger Rob there later on. We've got some master naturalists. We've got the Audubon Society and some of the natural plant people who actually show you how to redo your yards and everything just with what is already here that does not need to be maintained.
Very cool. Now, let's talk about the Marine Resources Task Force. This is their first pop-up event. They were on the show a few weeks ago, and this is the first time they're going to be doing their pop-up. Were they there yesterday?
They were there yesterday, and they were a pretty busy little group. We're giving all sorts of turtle education. That was a really big thing for the kids. They brought posters and coloring books and lots of interactive learning things. I personally am all for saving our waterways and our beaches. I'm a huge proponent of that. So I have welcomed them. They will be at all of my events on Fort Myers Beach in the future if they choose.
Oh, very nice. Mm-hmm. So do they have? What does the booth look like? Because I haven't seen it yet. So
they have a Guy Harvey pretty blue tent that's got all the fish and everything on the top of it. It kind of changes depending on who is in the booth doing the educational kind of teaching to everybody and interactions.
Who's Guy Harvey?
Guy, do you not know who Guy Harvey is?
No, I don't get out a lot.
He's a really famous Florida painter. You really don't know
no.
him.
Well,
he's
no.
like on everything. He does all the beautiful fish, the mahi and all that. Very well known on lots of T-shirts. He's been licensed out for everything.
All righty. I know Paul Harvey. I don't know Guy Harvey.
I don't know Paul Harvey.
It's a radio guy.
Oh, okay. I don't know him.
Yeah, he's been deceased for a few years now, but he did, and that's the rest of the story. You never heard Paul Harvey? He was on like every radio station in the world.
Well, maybe I did.
Yeah,
but I probably listened to music more than news back then,
But we digress.
Yeah.
Back to the Mermaid Festival. Now, why is it a Mermaid Festival? Is there some kind of mermaid contest?
We do. We have a mermaid contest at 3 p.m. today for cash prizes. There will be 3 different categories. We have Best Mermaid, Best Merman, and Best Merkid. So we'll give out the prizes. They kind of do their walk of fame all the way around the show. And we have 3 judges, and the judges will judge who they feel it represents the best representation of a mermaid.
I didn't know mermaids walked.
Well, so last year we had some mermaids that walked and we had some mermaids that did not walk.
And what did they do? Just lay there on the ground or somebody drag them around so they could be judged?
My understanding is that they have magical powers that when some of them hit the land, their tails go away and they have little feet.
I'm sorry, say that again?
They have magical powers.
Who does?
Ariel, the mermaids, that sometimes when they hit the land, their feet turn into, their fins turn into
that's like
feet.
a cartoon, isn't it? Or some kind of animated film from
Ariel?
Disney? Yeah. Isn't that what that is? Yeah.
Most certainly.
All right.
I think she might be the most famous mermaid of all right now.
I'm guessing. What is the prize
So
package?
we have 100 for the first place mermaid, and we have 50 for the best dressed merman and merkid.
Merman. Now, I don't think I've ever put a mermaid outfit. I don't think I ever would put a mermaid outfit on. So what's a type of man that puts on a mermaid outfit?
Well, I will describe last year's winner to you was just a quirky character who
All
actually
right.
had a whole Rasta wig and everything. And I think hands down that might have been why he won, because he kind of invoked that whole free spirit of the ocean. I am told that he will be with us again this year, and he has stepped up his game a bit.
Wow. Can you win 2 times in a row, or is it
You
like
can win 2 times in a row?
it's like
yeah.
a radio station
Yep,
where you
the
have to
judges-
wait 30 days or something like that before you win
No,
another
we don't
prize?
believe in that. We believe
All right.
in giving the best to the best.
All right. So you said he's a bit quirky. I would think that any man that puts on a mermaid outfit, you don't want to see like a really heavy set guy in a mermaid outfit, do you?
This gentleman is not a heavy set guy. I have to say, I've never seen a heavy set merman.
I was going to say, I mean, if you're 300 pounds,
I
you're
think
putting
if
on
you're
a mermaid
swimming a lot,
suit.
maybe that might control the weight a little bit.
I'm not following you what you're saying, but okay. So the Mer Kids, I'm sure that's the most popular category.
Yeah, we had an adorable one last year. She was Ariel, beautiful little wig, beautiful little girl. I want to say 5, just big old dimples.
Nice.
She was the cutest thing.
Now, when the merman and the merwoman the mermaid win, do they give the money to the Mer Kid? Because that would be the right thing to
So
do.
what we do? No, actually they didn't. That's a good question.
Yeah,
Maybe I should
well,
guilt
you
them
do really,
into that.
do you really need the money if you're a merman?
Yeah, that's a good. Maybe
Maybe
I
for
might be able
therapy.
to guilt them into
Maybe
that
for a
little
therapy
bit.
session.
Well, so the Mer Kid has some extra little goodies. One of our frequent exhibitors is Kelly Williamson. She's a potter, and she has donated some cute little mermaid ceramics, mermaid masks, and things for backup prizes for all the other kids as well.
Okay. How many kids do you think you'll have dressed
No
up?
idea.
All right. What's a good day of Mer Kids?
I think we had 9 last year.
Very nice.
Possibly. So
So the
I would shoot for the
competition isn't
same.
that stiff.
no,
You just
it's
gotta-
fun. Come
yeah.
out, support the oceans, have some fun, save our waterways, protect the manatees. That's what this whole festival is about.
Right. The manatees need a lot of protecting lately. For
They
some reason, it's
do.
been a crazy year for the manatees.
And I will tell you, as you know, I'm down at Lovers Key Resort there for half the year. And I will tell you, we have been in the bay on the back end there. I have a little floaty I put in the water, kind of redneck style with you put the little jug in the water full of sand, and you can just kind of float
Oh,
and
my.
watch. We've seen manatees every single day that
Nice.
we've been out there this season, right within, I'd say 10 feet of us. And I would tell you, if anybody is listening to me from FWC, if you want to write a whole bunch of tickets, you go sit on that back bay, my friends.
Why?
Because the boats that are zipping through there are doing, I don't know, max speed, man. They're
Really?
full throttle. Yep.
Do
And
they
I know,
have the signs up there? The
I
speed
know
limit
they
signs?
put a lot of the signs back up. I'm not sure if they're in that back area. I did talk with Jennifer from Marine Resource there.
Yeah,
to let
she'll
her
get things
know
done.
that- yeah, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
if you want to collect a whole bunch of extra cash for the local area,
Yeah.
go right on out there and just start ticketing all those boat people.
I've never seen I've never seen a mermaid up close, but I've never seen a manatee up close either.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
They don't have Mountain Gateway.
Well, when we're off the radio, I'll tell you where you can go and find them. Exactly.
Okay, but
Mhm.
slowly.
Yep.
I'll go slowly.
Yep.
All
Within
right.
5 feet, they'll come right up by
No
you.
kidding.
Mhm.
Like do they have like big clans of them, or what are they called?
Usually we see 2 or 3
Nice.
at the most. We
Yeah.
don't see like 10 together, but 2 or 3.
Right, right.
And they're big. I mean, the last one we saw came right up out of the water tail.
We
came back
watched,
down.
dear wife, dear. What was the name of that movie we watched last weekend? Seaspiracy. Have
No,
you
I
seen
have-
that?
I
We're
have
going to talk
not.
about that later on the show.
Is that on
Seaspiracy.
Netflix or something?
It was
or-
on Netflix, or we have Netflix and Prime. It was on one of those two.
Ah.
It was crazy how these commercial fishermen, like they were fishing. I don't mean to get off the subject, but they were fishing. They call it fishing with these gigantic nets that
Yep.
they scrape along, and there are
everything.
dolphins
They
coming
take
up,
everything.
and oh yeah,
Yep.
everything coming up. And but again, I digress. But I didn't lose my place. So. How many different vendors do you have at the Mermaid
I think
Fest?
we have 32 or 33 today.
Very nice.
Yeah, we have a pretty good little group.
And you said something. You mentioned something. You were speeding through all the different folks that are there, and it was some kind of master. What did you say about?
So we have the Master Gardener.
Yeah.
And the Master Gardeners come out. They know a lot about the local growth that things that are natural in our area, and they actually educate people how to do their yards and their spaces with plants and things that are not going to intrude or take water, don't need a lot of maintenance. They're things that naturally grow here.
Do you have any idea how you become a master gardener? Because I feel like all the time that I
Mm-hmm.
put in on my own house every weekend, I should just be given that title, like Master Gardener of
Yeah.
Gateway.
Are you using natural plants, or are you buying your stuff at Lowe's and Home Depot?
I'm buying my stuff from Lowe's.
Yeah,
That's
so-
not natural.
Well, so I think the whole theory with the whole master gardeners is you're actually planting things that have grown locally here and are indigenous and are they're low water maintainers. You don't have to water your lawn. You know, the end game is for us not to use up all our resources. So I think that's what they push a little bit more, is using the succulents, using all the grasses, the ornamental grasses and things that are natural here.
Okay, so Lowe's doesn't qualify for that, I'm guessing.
I don't think
because it's
so.
mass produced.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of indigenous, I was in the doctor's office the other day, or the lab, getting lab work done because I needed to get some blood work done. Why are you looking at me funny? I'm fine.
No, I'm listening.
And
I'm
I was,
intrigued.
you know, because you always have to sit in the waiting room and wait.
Forever.
And I was watching the TV, and they were, for some reason, they had this show on that I've never seen, because I don't have cable anymore, just Netflix and Amazon Prime. And they have this TV show where they catch these giant, those giant lizards, those green things. What are they called? Those
Iguanas.
big, they were catching the iguanas with like fishing poles.
Not to digress, we had a huge one down there at Lovers Key Resort. I'm going to tell you, it must have been 5 foot long.
It's crazy.
In all of my years of being in Florida, which I think is over 33 or whatever now, I've never seen an iguana that big. It was enormous.
Did you know that they have a TV show where they just go out?
No.
I don't even know. It must be from somewhere. I would guess in Florida. I mean, where else do they grow those that big?
Yeah, I don't know. No, I didn't know. So they're actually going and catching them probably.
Yeah. They were
I hear
caging
they're
them.
very tasty.
Really, I've never had iguana.
Like
but-
they say, everything tastes like chicken.
Right. I don't know if they were eating them or they didn't show what they did after they caged them. But do they let them go somewhere or let them free, or they kill them?
I would hope that they let them go, but
Yeah.
that's me.
But aren't they?
I would hope they didn't.
There's too
kill 'em.
many of them.
There are way too many
Yeah.
of them. Yeah. For sure.
So let's get back to why you're here. It wasn't to talk about whatever that show is. Oh, Christy had a question about what's the timeline like for the Mermaid and the Merkids and the competition. What time is that going to take
3
place?
p.m. it kicks off.
All right. So they have to walk around and
They
show
do.
off.
They walk a big circle right in the center of everything and kind of strut their stuff.
You have food down there?
So we do not have food this for this one around. We had a COVID cancellation. I hate to use that C word, but
Why?
because
the vendor.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, the food vendor tested positive and yep, could not get any of his staff, and we felt maybe it was a little bit too compromised to have him there.
Sure. All right. So you put on how many events down here this year?
In Florida or Lovers Key or this area?
Yeah, in our area.
So 3. Historically, every year it will be 3. We always have Santa's Last Stop the weekend before Christmas. We always do the invitational at Lovers Key. That next year will be moving.
Yeah.
I have the final. I have a meeting on Monday in a very exciting place. I don't want to kind of sneak peek, but it's much closer down here. So we
For
will
a
be
new
moving-
event.
Well, we will be moving. The invitational at Lovers Key will become the invitational at Fort Myers Beach, and it will be moved down into the middle of the island a bit more.
Okay. It's not going to be at the Lani Kai, is it?
No.
Okay. All right.
Hell no.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah,
already?
yeah. You can say whatever you want. All right. So when is the first event approximately going to be next year so that we get that out
the
there?
week before Christmas is Santa's Last Stop.
All
And
right.
that is, you don't need to leave the island and go shop anywhere. We have usually 30 to 45 vendors that everything's handmade, handcrafted, all sorts of variety of things that you can come and shop. We have a gift wrapping station as well. So if you're a guy and you just want to come and do your shopping and get everything wrapped and go back home or go play golf, you can do that pretty much within 2 hours and have everything done.
Very nice. And the website so people can check out all the events, because you have events outside of
I
Fort
do.
Myers Beach
Yep,
too.
yep,
Crazy
it
event
is.
lady right here.
My event, this is my year, I guess. It's Danielle's BlueRibbonEvents.com.
All right. Or you could go to our website and just click on the banner that is on our Beach Talk Radio news page. Okay, give them the final rundown of what to expect today, the time, today, tomorrow, all of the details.
So we are open 10 to 5 today and tomorrow. Free admission. Don't forget, we never charge you to get into the gate at all. We have morning yoga at 10 o'clock both days. And starting at 10 o'clock, the Marine Resource Task Force will have a whole slew of people that will be doing all sorts of educational things for you. And last but not least, Mermaid Festival. Mermaid Contest is at 3 p.m. today.
All right. And if you go down there, and I hope you do, you make sure you say hi to Steve and Jennifer from the Marine Resources Task Force if they're there, or they might have other volunteers there. And we appreciate all the events you put on for us down here, and that you come on and tell us all about it every time, Danielle.
Well, we appreciate you
Oh,
having us
stop.
on to
All
let
right.
all of the local people know to come out and support the artists.
All right, everybody. Danielle from Blue Ribbon Events,
Thank
and head on
you.
down to Lovers Key. A big round of applause from our artificial audience. They're loud and you can't hear it, but the viewers can hear it. We appreciate Danielle coming on. And remember, go down to Lovers Key for the Mermaid Fest, which is taking place today and tomorrow. And it's until what time again tomorrow? 5 p.m. tomorrow. All right, everybody. Danielle's with Blue Ribbon Events, and we are getting ready to kick off our show. our 9 o'clock show. We have great guests lined up, so stay tuned. Here we go.
Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Peach Time Out in the heart of Times Square. You're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Beach Talk Radio, episode number 159, coming to you live from Peach Time Out on Fort Myers Beach. And we just want to make sure everybody knows we're broadcasting the video live on Facebook and YouTube. And now our audio is live. Let me hit the button. It's live on the new social media app called Clubhouse. It's only available right now on the iPhone. So if you download the app, you search for Beach Talk Radio or Ed Ryan, and you can listen live to audio only. We're also on the Twitter and Instagram, and our news website is beachtalkradionews.com, where you can sign up for our free twice-a-week newsletter. We're also moving all of our shows, all 159 podcasts, to Beach Talk Radio News. So you'll be able to click over to there and listen on iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, all of that. And finally, you can download our news app so you can receive breaking news via push notifications. And that app is available both on the iPhone and the Android. Thank you to all of our most wonderful local sponsors: Island Oils, Fort Myers Tiki Tours, Nervous Nellies, Mangaritas, State Insurance USA, Sun Palace Vacations, La Ola Restaurant, Tuckaway Cafe, Blue Ribbon Events, Sanibel Carts, Beach Pottery, Sunset Beach Tropical Grill, and we'd like to welcome Shuckers back as one of our sponsors. It's nice to have the gang down at Shuckers back, and we'll be telling you more about a big event they have coming up. And finally, our longest-running sponsor and our home base, Pete's Time Out.
Yeah, Pete's Time Out has all the, as you say, heavy hitters here. John's here, Peter's here.
It was like
Tiffany's
a family
here.
reunion today. Everybody came in.
I know.
All righty, let's get right to our guests there, because they'd rather hear from our guests than they would from you and I. Sally
from you.
is from Golisano's Children's Hospital, right, Sally? And you're the Safe Kids coordinator.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me today.
And Dan is the
Dan Eaton is the Vice Flotilla Commander of the Coast Guard Auxiliary Flotilla 91 at the Coast Guard Station here in Fort Myers Beach.
Yep, I'm glad to be here and be able to talk about water safety.
Now, just a little rewind to last weekend, why we were looking for guests to help us out with water safety. Everybody that watches us or listens to us probably knows that there was an incident on the
Bowditch.
North. That's the north side, right? The northern end of the beach, Bowditch Beach. And a lady saw that I think it was I don't know if it was 2 or younger than 2. Her daughter was in a floaty. I guess it had to be younger than 2 to be in something like that.
Did not the floaties on the arms, like the little
Right,
floaty
right. She was in,
boat.
yeah. And she went out to swim after her to try and get her, because she was really going out past the buoys. And I don't know if she panicked or something, but she wasn't swimming, and one of the boaters jumped in to save her, swim her back. The daughter got picked up. She had 2 boys that went out to swim after her to help her. Everybody was okay. We called the hospital the next day, and she was okay too. So we wanted to bring in some folks, long-winded explanation there to help us out with water safety, so everybody knows to be safe in the water. So Sally, tell us what you do.
So my role at the Children's Hospital is pretty unique. What I do is I cover all injury prevention topics for kids under the age of 19. So we do everything from child passenger safety, medication ingestions, TV tip-overs, water safety. And I have a coalition, a network of partners. And so Dan is here right now. We're going to have Paul DeMello in a little bit come and talk about his foundation. But really what my role is to bring programmatic things into the community, evidence-based programs into the community to prevent tragedies from happening.
And those, it's a little bit, can you tell the difference with pool safety and then, open water safety?
Yeah. So, a lot of families think swimming lessons is all you need. But unfortunately, there is a big difference between open water and pool swimming lessons. There's also, families, we encourage families to have what we call layers of protection. So kids knowing how to swim is important, but also having pool fences, pool alarms, having to know how to respond to an accident. You had some boaters jump in and perform CPR. Am I correct?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, knowing what to do in case of an emergency is extremely important too. And many people think, well, somebody else will know how to, and really sometimes nobody does. So this was a great, outcome. But unfortunately here in Southwest Florida, that's not always the case.
And when we talked to Paul later on in the show, he had an unfortunate incident in his life. He lost his twin boys at 14 months, I believe, and that's what I guess caused him to start the foundation. So we'll hear that story later on. Dan, what do you do for the Coast Guard?
The Coast Guard Auxiliary, first of all, is a totally 100% volunteer arm of the United States Coast Guard. So the primary focus of the auxiliary is upon prevention. The more we can turn around and do education, the more we can turn around and do talk about boating safety, the more we can turn around and do vessel examinations. These are all tools that help reduce the number of search and rescue cases. That's the primary function. My personal role here is I'm the public affairs officer for Fort Myers Beach Auxiliary, Flotilla 9-1. Also been the flotilla commander, currently serving as the vice commander right now.
And we were talking earlier about a couple of things. One, that exchange program, which I think is an older program, but still about the importance of having up-to-date life preservers, which
there are many different programs that that have been going on in the past. Lee County did a study some time ago, which I thought was rather interesting, monitoring the number of boaters that are going out, kind of looking at how many people are not wearing life jackets. And I think we all can assume the number there. The only ones that were wearing life jackets was naturally the children that are, that are legally required to do so. So, it's kind of like a personal choice. And, then the big thing, our big emphasis is kind of like know before you go, and it kind of goes with everything, even beach safety, no, is this area prone to riptides? What's the weather going to be like? Things are that sort,
Maria makes a point that you should never jump into the water to save someone without a flotation device, because the drowning victim could drown you.
Exactly. All too often, people think that they're going to jump in the water and save. And then what happens, they end up becoming the next casualty as well. So, I mean, it's really important to know before you go. And there's a lot of programs out there, but with regarding water safety, especially with the Coast Guard Auxiliary, we put together a lot of boating safety classes. In those classes, you learn a lot of tips like that, as far as the right equipment and what to do and procedures and things of that sort.
So what is the right thing to do? I mean, luckily, like you guys said, everything turned out okay last Saturday. But what is the exact right thing to do? I think most people, when they see somebody having trouble in the water, they will do that. They'll get as close as they can in the boat and they'll jump in, no matter how. That's just a natural reaction, you would think, for most people.
This is true, but the very first thing you should do is reach out for help. Right, 911.
Right.
Get the gears going, so to speak. The sooner we can turn around and get help, the better. Now, Lee County here, we're really blessed with an organization called the Marine Emergency Response Team. And that's a coalition between all the different responding agencies, with Coast Guard, fire departments, Lee County Sheriff. These are all organizations. So in the event there is a situation such as that, they activate MERT, whereby all vessels on the water will turn around and begin responding. And then even with the Coast Guard, if it gets to the Coast Guard, they'll turn around and do what's called an urgent marine information broadcast. And basically what that involves is saying, hey, there's a problem in this position, right? And if you can help, or report the situation to what's going on. So that's probably the biggest and foremost is call for help, because what happens if you do go out there and also you find yourself getting caught in a riptide, so it can be a challenge.
After you call for help, should you get as close as you can and jump in?
Well, I would not recommend jumping in. I would definitely try to provide some type of flotation device to the person to turn around and do it, if at all possible.
But in this case, she was face down, and I think she was unconscious in the water. What's
then
plan
there
B
isn't
there?
much alternative.
Okay,
You know what I'm
gotcha.
saying? I mean, I mean, you got to make the judgment to yourself. I don't encourage anyone jumping in the water, but in the event that, you're in that type of situation, you got to do what you need to do. But you
Right.
don't, once again, you want to be sure that you don't become the next case as well.
I think the other thing with a rip current, because I was like looking at information especially after all this happened, is that, I mean, the big thing, which is so hard to do, is to stay calm, because it's not going to pull you under, it's going to pull you out. Is that correct?
Exactly. It's going to pull you out, and the safest way is to kind of swim perpendicular to the shore until you stop feeling that's going on. But once again, it can be frightful. There are people are encountering something they never encountered before.
Right. I think it can be scary. And if you're not a strong swimmer, to try and swim out of it, you have to weigh that cost benefit too, because the thing is, people get tired, and then that's when the trouble starts. I mean, I can't imagine though I mean, they can go pretty quick and swiftly kind of carry you out, but at least you have some extra buoyancy out there versus
life
in a
jackets,
pool.
Some type of flotation device, life jacket. You can't say enough, about the use of life jackets. They're not necessarily, when they should be Coast Guard approved first and foremost. And basically what that means is that they're not guaranteed to save your life, right? No. They're guaranteed, however, not necessarily guaranteed, but they're designed and engineered to take an unconscious victim face up. That's kind of like what they're designed to do. So
this may be a dumb question, but if you have to jump in to help somebody because the person is face down, and you jump in, like with me, if I jump in, I'm going down 10 feet because I'm so fat. How far down is the water before the riptide? How low? Where does it start? I have no idea. Like if I go down, how do I know it's not going to zip me out?
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
It's right up to the top of the water.
Oh, sure.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
They're usually narrow, but they're deep, and they just take you out, and then eventually they'll release you, and that might actually bring you in. But at that point, at least you can swim into shore once you get out of its pull.
And it's important, if you jump in, you should also be wearing a life jacket as well, because someone could pull you down, and unfortunately, you want to be safe as much as anybody.
Right. Dan, we're going to say something.
These instances are fairly rare,
Yeah.
right? I mean, naturally they hit the news and it becomes big news, but there's all kinds of things out there that are out there to turn around and help people. Now, there has just been a law passed, and it started this April 1st, about the use of these, what's called a tether device. That's a shut-off device for the boat that is tethered to the person that's on the helm. So in the event the helms person, whoever's at the wheel, happens to fall off, it shuts the engine off. And this happens so many times where people are, they trip, or for whatever reason, they end up in the water while the boat's engaged. And the boat keeps on going. So now they're in trouble because they fell in the water unexpectedly. And now you have a boat that may be going around in circles. That could be another hazard to more people. So I think they found, to really kind of,
a good solution for that. Yeah.
Did that law get passed? The law got passed. The law. Did they pass a law that said it has to be attached to the driver now?
Yes,
right?
It is. It's called the engine cutoff switch.
Gotcha.
And it's all vessels less than 26 feet long.
Got you. Is the law, again, dumb question because I don't know, I'm not a boater. Is the law that everybody that gets on a boat has to wear a life jacket no matter what?
It has to be on the boat.
It has to be on the boat.
All right.
Okay. There are federal regulations, and then you also have state regulations. But, to me, you have the thing that's to the law, but once again, it makes common sense for you as the boat operator as well. I always tell somebody, when you go out, you kind of do a briefing with everybody that's on your boat, tell them where the life jackets are, tell them how to use the radio, how to call for help, and you do things of that sort. But the life jackets, is just so important.
So we in Lee County, as well as in Charlotte and in Collier, have a program with life jacket loaner programs. So there's actually one here at Lynn Hall Park. There's other boating locations where families can actually borrow a life jacket and return it when they're done. So in case there's an additional person on the boat and they don't have one, they don't have to go out and purchase one. These are here in at Lynn Hall. It's for swimmers using the beach. We have all different sizes, and families can just borrow one and put it back when they're done.
Yeah, I've seen those, not a kiosk, but it's a little, wooden.
I've never seen that.
It's right down by the pier.
It's right underneath the pier. It's a
right
big
underneath
yellow
it.
box. It's in 9 different languages because we do have a lot of tourism
Right.
here. So really for any family member or any person that can speak that language.
Fantastic program
Yeah.
that they all put together. And, it's no easy task trying to get funding and things of that sort to get all that stuff together. And Sally did a fantastic job in getting that all together.
So, Sally, what else can you tell us about kid safety and making sure that the kids are safe in the water and keeping them safe? And, the kids are always wanting to go out, play in the sand close to the water, and the parents are back laying down trying to get a sunburn and all that. And next thing you know,
Well, here in Southwest Florida, we don't have lifeguards on the beach,
Right.
like they do on the East Coast. So, we always tell parents and family members or caregivers to always have active supervision. When kids are near the water, be within arm's reach. Don't be on the cell phone. Don't be reading a book. We always want somebody to be an active water watcher when kids are in and around the water. And let's face it this way. Competent swimmer can still have an accident. So really no one should be swimming alone as well.
Well, we were talking a little bit before the show about how I swim with a swim buoy. I'm going to pull that out in a minute. And you were saying that, go ahead, tell them the story about the guy swimming out there and the number of calls you get.
It's kind of interesting. We do get there's a person that likes to swim out here towards dusk, and we got people on the beach, they're looking out and they look like this guy's in trouble when in essence he's not. And once again, they'll activate the emergency response team. So you'll have the Lee County Sheriff's, Fish and Wildlife, Coast Guard, everybody coming to your rescue. And in this particular instance, it really wasn't.
Yeah. And really, the recommendation I know is to not swim alone. You want to.
Absolutely. I think that could be said for a lot of different things. It's and once again, it wouldn't be a bad idea that if someone had some type of flotation device as well, just if something turned around and started going bad, because you don't know what can happen.
right. All right. She's going to start to show off some of her personal items. What is that you have there? Can't hear you.
This is Speedhound. It is called a swim buoy, and you wear it, blow it up, and then you wear it.
Can't hear you.
You blow it up and then you wear it around your waist, and it floats behind you as you're out swimming. Two purposes. One, so that you don't get run over by a boat in case you're, out swimming in the deeper water. But two, once it's inflated, it does give you a little, if you get tired, it's not going to hold you up. It's not an approved, personal flotation device for saving your life, but it'll give you something, which is better than nothing if you need a moment to catch your breath. And so I would encourage anybody, if you're out there swimming, practicing for anything or just working out, to get one of these so that people can see you and you can be safe.
Can I wear one of those to the gym just to see how people respond to that? Or I'm just trying to be safe in the gym.
It's going to fall to the ground. You need the water to hold it up.
If you're in the pool at the gym, sure.
Not the
True.
gym I go to doesn't have a pool. They don't even have water fountains at work. But so I feel like I didn't do my job today. I didn't bring any props. Everyone else has props. Sally,
look yeah.
what do you have there? Those are obviously life jackets.
These are U.S. Coast Guard approved life jackets. And in fact, these are 2 different sizes. And you can see that this has sort of like a headrest. And these are for younger children. And inside, it actually tells you what. This one is an infant PFD, and this is an adult size, and it'll tell you the chest size and so forth. And like I said, these are stamped, and they say return to life jacket loaner stand, so that and our Coast Guard knows that this is from one of our stands.
One thing I want to point out on the infant, on the child's vest, it's so important that people use that crotch strap that goes up and snaps, because typically what happens to a child, if a child falls in the water, what are they tendency to do? They reach up, right? They reach up for their mother, their father, whatever, for help. And what happens if that's not in there? They slide right out the bottom. So that's why it's so important to turn around and use that.
Got it. And
Right there.
Sally, what age should you start to teach kids? Again, I know people are out there like, why are you asking such stupid questions? But what age should you start teaching the kids to swim?
So that's really a great it's a great question to have.
Man.
That's really a great question to have with your pediatrician. Every child develops differently, but there are swimming lessons that start at 6 months old. Children really start to learn stroke and development around 4. But we have water all around us, and drowning does not just happen in summer months.
Right.
So there are pools, there are instructors that teach all year round, and some families who might not be able to afford it should reach out to programs to see if they have scholarships. Paul, I know, is going to probably talk about one of his programs he's got coming up. But there are scholarships available for swimming lessons as well as if families need door alarms, or they need water watchers, or if they need PFDs, they can contact us at Safe Kids and we can work with them as well.
How'd you get involved in this Safe Kids program?
I actually did child abuse investigations for 10 years, and my current boss, I was part of the coalition then, and she said, we want you on our team. And I said, okay, let's do this. And I've been doing it for 8 years, and I love the program. I love getting to work with so many community partners, and it really is, I've got 2 kids. I've got a 10 and a 12-year-old. So, having my kids safe, having their friends safe, it's a passion of mine.
So Sally is definitely a champion when it comes to water safety.
And where are you? Where's your office? Which location?
So I'm actually, I have 2 offices. I am at the Golisano Children's Hospital in Fort Myers, but then I'm also at the Golisano Clinic down in Naples.
And where can people go to get more information just in general about, general child safety information?
So they can go to our Safe Kids website, which is safekidsSWFL.org, or they can give our office a call at 239-343-5101.
And we have a question from our live studio audience of 9 people. Christy has a great question. I'd ring the bell for you, Christy, if you were here. She wants to know what's the upper age range that kids are legally required to wear the life jacket.
On a boat?
Yeah. Up to
Do you
what
wanna
age
answer?
do they have to wear the life jackets?
Well, the upper age, I believe, is 17, I think.
Yeah.
16 or 17 on the upper age.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 0 to 17.
It's all a matter of the way I look at it. It's all, we talk about laws. It's more about common sense, I think. I really do. Because let's say if you as a boat owner and something happened on the boat where a life jacket could have saved a person's life, how are you going to feel the rest of your life personally,
Right.
knowing that something bad happened that could have been prevented?
Right.
So, and it's just, it's a really important point.
I correlate this to car seats. What is safe and what is law are 2 different things. So let's not even talk about what is law. Just be the safety parent and
Right.
be that safety champion.
I think the other thing is, and I know this is hard, especially when people are visiting from out of the area, but to impress upon them to check the weather. Go on the NOAA website and check the weather to see if there are warnings out there, because at least in the research I did, it said that rip currents can also occur on days where it's sunny and bright.
Exactly.
So
That's all part of know before you go. Know the weather, know your capabilities, know the equipment on the boat, know where you're going to go. These are all important things.
I have to be honest. All the times I've gone to the beach, I've never looked for a riptide report, and I don't think. I don't think anybody does. But can I finish? Can you let me finish my thought just one time?
Oh my goodness.
Christy, I want Christy to post the website.
It wasn't so long.
I don't know if you can do this, Christy, but she has an app on her phone that I guess forecasts riptides. I didn't even know that you could forecast whatever rip current, riptide. Why do you have to correct me?
I'm just trying to
all
get
the
the
time?
verbiage correct.
So there's an app, I guess, or several apps you can download that show you the rip current, right? Dan?
It is my understanding, yes, that there are.
Okay.
But once again, it's, the big thing is know before you go.
Right.
Rip currents out here aren't all that common.
Really?
You get a little bit further north, around Boca Grande in that area. Now the tides up there go ripping big time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's it's just it's a matter of common sense. It does happen down here. It doesn't happen that often.
Now, Dan, I have to ask this question because I know you're an expert. What in the hell is going on with the manatees? Why are all these manatees dying?
Why is he an expert?
He's from the Coast Guard.
No, that's more Fish and Wildlife myself.
Okay.
But
Darn.
like,
I mean,
I have no clue.
oh, okay.
Sorry.
And now when they're
But you can take a moment to remind boaters
That
to
they
be
should-
safe and
yeah.
slow down in the manatee.
well,
especially
Danielle
in the manatee.
Danielle was just on, and she said the boaters in the Back Bay are still speeding like crazy, and their manatee, I don't know what you call them, flocks or tribes,
Pods.
pods.
Pods,
How many manatees are in a pod?
It all depends.
Yeah.
You know, we got a call once from a boat captain. Just on a side note, that's kind of funny that they got a call up around. I think it was like Upper Captiva saying the manatees, they're beaching themselves. Oh my goodness, they're beaching themselves. They're all going to die, right? And I tried to say, well, Captain, that's called a mating pod.
Oh, really?
They're
They
just
mate
doing what
on-
manatees do.
They mate on land
Yeah, they're like they corral the female and
and take her to the land.
not
Like
on
you're-
the land, but
Like
yeah.
you're
Not
watching the
on the land,
sunset,
but near
honey.
the
It's a
land.
date.
It's a
Okay.
date. It's a date
So-
night. Yes.
It's
So
an
how-
inshore date.
How do you know when they're, well, I guess this is going to be the dumb
No.
question kind of thing, but how do you know the difference between their beaching or their mating? Can you really, is like one manatee on top of the other, so you really know what's
I
going
wouldn't
on?
know.
Oh, come on, Dan,
And I
you
don't-
know.
I don't think they
Not a
beach
manatee
themselves
lawyer.
for any other reason than when they're mating together.
Have you watched the movie Seaspiracy?
I did.
Is that crazy or what?
It's scary.
Yeah.
I do. I do a lot of environmental stuff as well, and it's really quite frightful. It really is. And that's all about sustainable fisheries and things of that
Yeah.
sort.
The thing that bugged me the most was they call it fishing when these big giant fishing boats, these commercial fishing boats, put these nets on the bottom of the ocean and they just scrape everything up, the coral, the dolphins, the alligators, the crocodiles, everything's
Yeah,
coming up.
you know,
Porpoises,
in the
dead bodies.
Luckily in the United States, we got all kinds of federal laws and regulations.
Yeah, well,
that
yeah.
prohibit
It wasn't around here.
most of that stuff. if
Yeah.
not all.
That needs to stop. We should get, what was that boat? The Sea Shepherd. Those guys are nuts. They'll stop anything. They'll get in front of any boat.
Yeah, they're a little on the aggressive side.
Yeah,
I
wasn't
know.
that
Then
a,
you have that other end. Yeah,
wasn't that like a Netflix series or an
it
A&E
was for
series?
a while. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was for
Yeah.
a while.
We're getting off the subject here.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So Dan, we are going to thank you unless you have something else you want to share.
Well, the biggest thing I want to share is, especially when it comes to boating, wear your life jacket and take a safe boating course, because, the safe boating course will fill you in on things that you might have never, ever thought of.
and where do you find the safe boating courses?
The easiest thing to turn around is go on Mr. Friendly Google and Google Coast Guard Auxiliary Fort Myers Beach.
I never heard of that one. So it's
There you go,
MrFriendlyGoogle.com and it comes right up.
MrFriendlyGoogle.com.
All
There you
right.
go. Yep.
Awesome.
I just want to also plug that, we're talking about boating, but boating also includes paddleboard, kayaking, which a lot of people in Southwest Florida do. So
Yeah.
life jackets need to be worn.
Do you wear a
when-
life jacket when you paddleboard?
I have it on my paddleboard, and I always have it on my paddleboard. I
You don't
always
wear
have
it.
it in my kayak.
You don't,
don't
wear
wear it, but
Okay,
I
well,
always have
what good
it
is it
on.
if you fall into the water? What good is it
I-
on the paddleboard?
Because I always wear the cord, the tether.
The other thing when it comes to kayaks and paddleboards, to be sure your phone number's on there.
Aha.
That's really important. And the reason why that, we get all kinds of calls. They'll find a kayak floating out in the Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
And it's like, did it fall off a boat? We don't know. Did it, are we
Did
looking
it fall off
for
somebody's
someone?
car going over the bridge?
Yeah, we don't know.
So shouldn't she put
that-
like
that
my
ends
number
up-
on it? Because
that
if
ends
it's her
up-
number, they'll call her and her phone will be in the kayak. Maybe somebody
Well,
else's
just
number.
so it's attached to some record that
Right.
someone can call.
yeah.
But I
that-
always wear
Gotcha.
the tether. I always wear that. It's a pain in the neck, and I get my feet stuck in it. But I always wear that because when that thing kicks out and you're upended and you're not prepared for it, you're stuck. So I can always reel it in, just
Dan-
like I have to reel you in.
Dan, thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it. And thank you for your
Definitely our
service to
pleasure.
the Coast Guard. It's the Coast Guard Reserves. Is that
Auxiliary.
auxiliary? So can I just join the Coast Guard Auxiliary or do I have to
See?
join the
You
Coast
certainly
Guard?
can if you
No
want.
kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only caveat is that you got to be able to pass a background check.
Okay. What about a
Are you
push-up?
sure that's okay?
Yeah. What about a push-up thing? Is there a push-up contest or a pull-up?
None
Nothing
of
like
that for
that
the
at all?
auxiliary, unless you're going to get into some of the boat operation stuff. There may
I
be
have
some
one quick
fitness
question.
stuff.
I want to stay on
but-
land.
but-
Do you have?
We had all kinds of land programs, all kinds of programs.
I
Last
just have
question,
one
dear.
quick last question. So, when people come down here, they're allowed to just rent a boat, right? They can rent a boat
Yes.
without having any kind of license.
Yes.
How is that?
It's
safe.
It's a huge challenge. Let's leave it that, because a lot of the condos that people rent comes with boats or whatever, and boating down here is totally different than boating in the little lakes up in Minnesota or something. And these are things that they're not accustomed to.
To me,
And
that's
it is a huge challenge.
flabbergasting.
How
challenge.
how big is the problem of alcohol in boating?
It's always a problem.
Yeah.
We always say leave the party for the pier.
Yeah.
You have a lot of sayings.
There is it's a huge you look at the things, and you look at the boating statistics as far as injuries, fatalities, and damages, and the use of alcohol ranks right up and towards the top.
Yeah.
I'll
All right.
give a little plug for Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Is
Okay.
actually doing a fishing tournament to talk about. That's the problem. I can't give you the date.
All right. We'll look it up.
We'll look it up.
We'll look it up. We'll do MrGoogle.com
Mr.
and we'll
Friendly.
put it on Mr. Friendly Google. All right, Dan, thank you very much. And I
Always a
know
pleasure.
Sally's going to stay and help us with, not help us with, but also stay for the next segment with Paul.
How
so
much managing does
I'm
the
gonna
gentleman need, huh?
I'm going to take care of business here
Okay.
while you take care of what you need
All right.
to take care of. I want to make sure I tell everybody about one of our sponsors here. And you're going to want to stick around for Paul's story and Paul's a foundation that he started. So don't go anywhere, folks. When the weather changes like this, it brings along one thing that you don't need, and that's bugs. You don't want bugs on you. You don't want bugs up your nose. You don't want bugs on your loved ones or on your little kids or on your dog, for that matter. So what you want to do is you want to go to don'titchit.com or islandoilsllc.com right now and purchase some of the bug spray that they have. It's all natural insect spray made with 100% essential oils, and it's made right here in Florida. It's not made by the people that started the China virus. It's not made by anybody outside the country. It's made by the good old US of A, Americans working their butts off, and we want you to get on there right now and order from don'titchit.com or islandoilsllc.com. You can also, they're getting pictures without me. How dare they? You can go to Bait and Wait, Snook Hut Bait and Tackle, For Goodness Sake, and the Lighthouse Island Resort right across the street here from Pete's Time Out. Island Oils LLC and don'titchit.com, one of our great sponsors. Please pick up some bug spray, because if the bug bites you tonight, I don't want to hear you say it was my fault. I warned you that the bugs are going to be around. All right, our second guest for this second segment of our fabulous show. We're talking to you about episode 159. And also at the end of the show, I'm going to play the video that I took this morning out on the beach. The beach was such a mess this morning, wife. I mean, it was crazy. There had to be some kind
What
of
do you mean, a mess?
nutty party going on. I didn't know spring break was still going on, but
Yeah, it goes on the entire. Yeah.
it couldn't have been the locals, because there were beer cans and beer bottles left right by the pier. There was a lady from Indiana. She's staying at the Harbor House. She was out there by herself picking up all the garbage.
Did you help?
I videotaped so we can get the word out. My job is to not really get my hands dirty that much. I have to make sure you get the word out, and I sent the video to a few folks so the county knows it. And I tried to find somebody to pick up the bags, because the last thing you want is for the bags to be out there, because then the kids will come back later and just throw the garbage out because they're so angry.
Oh, you don't want the bags out there either for the wildlife. You don't want anything going into the ocean like that.
So I'm going to turn this over to Sally, who's going to introduce our next guest. Sally?
Oh, I didn't know this.
See that?
He likes to throw curveballs.
I like it.
should have
I like
prepared
it.
you.
I've known Paul here for 7-8 years now. He has not only become somebody I work with, but I would call him a friend. And he has a story to tell about his twin boys. He is a wonderful dad, a grandpa, advocate, and just an all-around great guy. And I'm going to let him share his own story because I cannot tell it with the power and strength that he can.
All right, Paul, we're right here on this camera, and I need to ask you how you're a grandpa, but I'll do that later. So
yeah, I hope everyone can hear me okay. I want to say thank you for having me here. Thank you, Sally, for introducing me. And yeah, I'm a pop. He calls me pop. I'm 53. He's 4 years old, and he actually got to spend some time with me the last couple of nights. I just got back from a postponed honeymoon. I got married last year. And so it was really nice to go away and come back and spend some time with my grandson. Yeah, you know, my twin boys, Josh and Christian, by far, you know, the worst day of my life is when I got that phone call that they were found face down in a backyard swimming pool. You know, it happened at the grandparents' house, and the mom was there caring for him. I wasn't there. I know nobody wanted that to happen, you know, and to be honest with everyone, I think the people that I worry about the most are the ones that think things like that, you know, tragedies like that, events like that won't happen to them, you know, that it just happens to, you know, some, you know, like people far off somewhere, you know, or bad people or whatever, you know. The people that I don't worry that much about are like the helicopter moms, you know, the ones that are constantly worried all the time. You know, I've been down here in Florida for 20 years. I'm from the New England area. I'm actually cold right now. I'm down here on the beach. I'm wearing pants and a long sleeve shirt. And I don't know, I guess I'm a cream puff. But when I lost my twins, I ain't never been so affected in my life. And on the way down here, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to talk about, but I know that I appreciate the radio station doing this. I believe it's Kim and Ed Ryan, and Sally. Even, you know, the U.S. Auxiliary Coast Guard guy, Dan, you know, I appreciate him doing this. Because I believe this is something that we need to continue to talk about, you know, and let's not stop talking about it. You know, it's about constant vigilance and, you know, being proactive. You know, when I first moved down to Florida, my biggest complaint was the bugs, you know what I mean? And how much they were bothering me. And I really hated the bugs, you know, and things like that. And I was listening to Ed Ryan talking about the bugs, but like the dangers of water, I didn't have a clue about the dangers of water, you know, that body of water around us. And, you know, we all have experience. We all have, you know, gifts and we all have passions. And my passion is the backyard swimming pool. You know, that's what I really want to talk to everyone about because, you know, there are people that come to Florida, they rent out these places, they come here to stay a while and they go back home without their kids, you know. I actually looked at the website on the way down here, you know, Department of Family and Children, and we've actually had 19 drownings this year alone already. Not a good way to start the year off. Last year we had record high drownings. You know, so it's happening, and a lot of people don't want to talk about it. You know, again, you know, some people are just closed-minded to it. They don't think it's going to happen to them, and those are the people that I worry about the most. You know, 19 of those drownings. 90% of them were in a backyard swimming pool. If you look at it, you know, that's scary, you know, and again, people come down to Florida or they buy a home or they rent a home and they have a pool there and they're really excited to see the swimming pool. And, you know, kids love the water. There's something about the water. It's really attractive to children. And kids are explorers, you know, they're going to figure out a way or means on how to get there, you know. So in my situation, and I know you're getting ready to ask some questions. I can see you ready to fire. You know, in my situation, there was no fence there. You know what I mean? Which is a really good device. You know, it's one more layer of prevention. You know, is a removable fence or a cover, or even like putting some alarms and stuff on the back sliders. You know, I can tell you, you know, if there was a fence at the grandparents' house that night, my kids would be alive today. I really believe that, and that's why I've sold out to that. You know, every swimming pool should have a safety fence. I mean, it is removable. It's not forever. I know today I wouldn't put my grandson in a car without a seatbelt. So, it's just a really good way to keep those kids' little feet on solid grounds. I believe in swimming lessons. We were talking about that, and I could feel the passion up here about some different things that others were talking about. But, I'm not the aquatics guy. I'm the backyard swimming pool guy. I do believe that, kids should learn how to swim as soon as they're able to crawl. And there's so many different swimming programs out there. So many different teachers, instructors, styles. There's just a lot of stuff out there that I think that we really need to take advantage of really early on, whether it's 6 months old or 9 months old. If you own a swimming pool, put up a fence, have a gate, put alarms on the back door sliders exiting to the pool. And I can see the questions want to come at me, so go for it.
So you created a foundation, correct? Tell us a little bit what's the name of the foundation,
Cool.
and what kind of things are you involved in supporting?
Well, it's an acronym. It's JACD Foundation. It's a nonprofit 501c, and it stands for Just Against Children Drowning. It also stands for Joshua and Christian DeMello. And to be honest, after my boys died, there were people reaching out to me, and they told me, "Hey, man, you know how Mad Mothers Against Drunk Drivers started, right?"
Right.
And so they were kind of like nudging me to do the next right thing. And I think the best thing I did was to figure out a way to turn my tragedy into a gift for others. You know what I mean? Because, life teaches us some things, and my experience could help somebody else, or save another child. Some of the things that we do, like I said, I'm more like the backyard swimming pool guy. Some of the things we do is we provide fencing for DCF. It just made sense to do that. A lot of times families that are tied into DCF, Department of Family and Children, are there for a reason. There's something going on, and if there's a child in a home, it doesn't matter, financial situation. If there's a child in a home and there's a swimming pool and there's no fence there, we will provide the fencing for them.
Now, is that for people? Is it for foster homes, or is it just?
It is not. It's not for foster
exclusive,
parents, but
okay.
we try not to turn anybody away.
Okay.
We usually try to figure out a way to get it done.
Okay.
And it's almost like a case by case basis. We try to treat everybody fairly.
Mhm.
We also have partners too. Like, we can't do this alone. We provide swimming lessons too, and we've been able to write some scholarships and give some grants out. We work with the YMCA. We've worked with ISR instructors, private swim instructors. We usually just try to figure it out. If somebody's reaching out to us, we want to reach back.
Off the subject a little bit, a lot of people are asking where in Massachusetts you're from.
I was born in Brockton, Massachusetts. I grew up in New Bedford, and I moved down here 20 years ago. I know my accent's a little diluted, but it's a little watered down. But
Not really.
So,
yeah.
With so many organizations out there that try to raise money, how do you stand out in the crowd, and what do you do to raise money?
Wow. Yeah, I'm from Charlotte County. It took me about an hour to get here, and I probably would have drove 2 hours if I had to. But when we registered with the Chamber of Commerce, they said, you do realize that Charlotte County has more nonprofits than any other county in the state of Florida, right? And I was like, really? And we started doing some fundraising, and I'm sure you guys probably know, fundraising is really hard. But I don't know, some people, they just kind of take a liking to it, and whether it's me, whether it's the twins, whether it's a power greater than myself, or some force, we've been able to be sustainable over the last 10 years. Our major fundraiser is a 5K that we do. It started off with just a walkathon, and so we added a 5K to it, which is our biggest fundraiser that we have. And then we also have
Don't jump ahead yet. Where is the 5K, and when is it?
It's in November every year, and it's in Charlotte County.
Okay.
And we have people come from Naples, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Sarasota, St. Pete. They come from all over to participate. And believe it or not, a lot of times some of the people that are participating are families that have been affected directly to, drowning. So we usually have a lot of families out there that either are dealing with a fatal drowning or a non-fatal drowning.
And you were going to say,
Yeah, my I don't know. It's my funnest event that we do.
Hey,
you know.
you can see because you're.
Yeah,
as soon as
yeah,
you
it's
pulled
the
it up,
bike
you're
run. You know,
smiling.
I'm a motorcycle guy, and we're on our 9th annual charity bike run. It's going to happen May 16th. Of course, last year we didn't get to do it because of the pandemic, which really stung. You know, it hurt. So we're going to do it this year. You know, we changed the location. We're actually going to do it at Biker Life in Port Charlotte. I'm sure there are some people familiar with that spot, and we're going to end up at Sharky's in Venice on the island. It's you know, it's a fundraiser that we raise funds for. We earmark all those funds for swimming lessons. So everything from that
Nice.
goes right back into the community for swimming lessons.
so how do you get through what happened?
You know, I was thinking about that on the way here, and like, I you know, because again, I didn't know what I wanted to talk about, and I'll tell you, I have been able to meet a lot of people, unfortunately, you know, that have had drownings, and some of those families are really, really struggling. They're really in dark places, and I think just the fact that I had a foundation to begin with, you know, I'm a pretty solid guy, strong faith, strong beliefs, and you know, I usually do the next right thing. And when I created and took some suggestions with creating the foundation, it was almost like a form of therapy for me. You know, there's something about helping other people. You know what I mean? And you help yourself. And I don't know. I became homicidal. I became suicidal after I lost my kids. It's been a long road. I'm not there anymore. You know, I don't feel stuck there anymore. I just, you know, again, there's just something about helping other people that have helped. And, you know, if I could help somebody today, you know, maybe help them if they're dealing with something. It doesn't have to be, you know, a drowning or anything like that. But if you're dealing with something, maybe try to flip the script, you know, maybe try to help somebody else with, you know, your tragedy or your story or, you know, whatever you're going through, you know, kind of like get out of your own way and help somebody else.
What year was it?
Excuse me?
What year was it?
2010.
2010.
And you have other kids. It looked like you had other kids in the pictures on the website.
Yeah, I got a 19-year-old. Well, I'm sorry. He was 19 when the twins were born. They all have the same birthday. So the twins were born on my 19th-year-old's birthday. And I've been blessed to be able to have a couple other kids in my life that I've been able to be role models for. I'm kind of like a father figure for. You know, they look at me in that way. But yeah, the twins were my two youngest, and then of course my son Jesse, which is my oldest, that just gave me a grandboy about 4 years ago. So
No, and give out the information where people can find you and find the charity, the foundation.
Donate to the foundation if they
Donate.
want to. How do they do that?
yeah, I mean, if you could put the word out there about the bike run, it's a really good time. We definitely need help with that. We do a fun raffle. You know, if anybody wants to, you know, donate gift certificates or something, it's a really great time. We really enjoy it. The website's a pretty long one. It's justagainstchildrendrowning.org. It should pop right up. And again, thank you for having me here. And I hope somebody heard something and got some kind of message. You know, try not to think that it can't happen to you. Try to act and behave like it could happen to you.
Now, I know that like our house is older, and so when we bought it, it didn't have a fence around the pool. And so is there a certain year after which that became mandated by law that pools had to be built with fences?
Actually, 2010, they started implementing different laws, and they started getting a little bit stricter. Since then, we've actually gone backwards. I kind of like what California is doing. They have where you have to have multiple layers in place, which, you know, a lot of times it's the fence and alarm. You know, here in the state of Florida, you can either have a alarm or a fence, new construction only. And go ahead.
Sorry. What do you mean by alarm? How do you
Like on the sliders?
Yeah.
Okay.
My Boston accent, alarms.
No.
No.
So if the kids, if somebody's outside, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
we have them on our sliders, so you could hear if somebody went out, it would
Gotcha.
beep, and then at least because you
not the
can't
beep.
watch your.
Please don't put it on the beep. Put it on alarm. If you're going to shut it off, some of them have switches, but the beep's just like a chime, beep.
Yeah.
I mean, if your kid goes out the door, you want the alarm to go off,
Right.
you know. So you can get alarms at Walmart, Home Depot, you know, $10-20 for each alarm. You put them on the sliding glass doors. You usually have a sticky back. Pretty much, you know, anybody can put one up, you know.
Sally, how did you guys meet and start working together?
I'm trying to think of the answer to that. I don't know. I mean, you know, just was it through Paula's coalition that we met?
It was Collier County Coalition. It was. Yep.
You know, in working in the hospital, I come across many families that have had accidents and so forth. So I'm just going to throw out some stats right now. We lose roughly around 60 to 70 children a year just between the ages of 1 to 4 in the state of Florida to a drowning accident. Here in Golisano in Southwest Florida, we probably lose about 7 kids on average to a drowning. That's fatal. But for every fatal accident we have with drowning, we have about 6 non-fatal accidents. And those kids could walk out just like the way they, were the day before, or they can have life-changing neurological, changes to their bodies. And so, it varies so different. And like Paul said, it can happen to anybody. It can happen to doctors, firefighters, law enforcement, and it has. So it doesn't just happen to anybody. And even if you don't have a child in your home, but you have a pool in your home, you still need to be vigilant.
And where can people, because one thing is about getting more people CPR certified so that in the event, the unfortunate event, at least where can people get information about, if and are they doing it in person? Because I know there's some online ones and I'm like, I think you really need to do it in person to practice on the
So right now there are limited people, organizations that are doing in person. There's also hybrid programs. So like you learn the information online and then you meet with an instructor and do like the practice skills. So through the American Heart Association or the Red Cross, you can go on their websites and learn. I don't know if any of the fire departments, they were doing hands only previously.
I would go to your local fire department, nudge them, and I'm sure they would not let you walk.
And there's a great one here on the beach.
For sure.
For sure.
So, Paul, how many events throughout the year do you hold?
We used to do like a half dozen, and then we just tuned it down to just 2. Again, it's the bike run and then the walk and the 5K. We used to do a golf tournament. We used to do a car wash.
Sure.
And we used to do a couple other things. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of behind the scene things that got to go on
for sure
to pull them off. So.
And again, the date for the bike run is May 16th.
Yeah, May 16th. Come on.
And where is the registration on your website for that?
It is not.
Okay.
It is not, and I
have to work on that.
Web guy.
Note to self.
I reached out to my web guy actually last night again, and just everything's volunteers, and sometimes it's hard to get volunteers to do things, and I don't want to complain.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Where can they register?
We actually have this up on our Facebook page, the Safe Kids Southwest Florida Facebook page. So we take these pictures. He's got a Facebook page as well.
We'll put it up too. We'll put it on our page and make sure people
can definitely register day of event, May 16th. We used to do kickstands up at Walmart on Kings Highway in Charlotte County. Although this year, because of the pandemic, we had to move it, and we're going to do it at Biker's Life at 3265 Tamiami Trail in Port Charlotte, and kickstands up is at 11 o'clock.
What about?
And this is motorcycles.
No, you can bring your Jeep out. You can bring your car out.
What about a regular bike?
not a regular bicycle. How many miles is it though?
You know what? I've never clocked that out. That's something I got to look into.
Is that a good question?
Never clocked it out.
Oh, stop asking for the bell. So how fast are the bikes going? They can't be going that fast, right?
No, actually, we ride pretty tight. For the first leg, usually it's police escorted. So we ride pretty tight, and then we just let it go. I mean, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Hopefully, the speed limit. We're not looking for any problems,
And we do stop at the Twins.
What do you mean?
We do.
What do you mean, Sally? You ride a bike?
She's been out there.
Nice. Very nice. You have your own bike, or do you?
I ride.
Okay.
I'm in the back.
Yeah, she's in the back.
All right. How
She
many
holds on tight.
How many bikes you think you'll have, Paul?
Well, I'll tell you, last year we couldn't do it, so we didn't have any bikes.
Okay,
but
zero.
The year before that, we had almost 200 bikes.
Very nice.
Wow.
And they
I'd like to see,
what's the donation?
I'm sorry.
What's the registration donation?
The registration donation is $15 per bike, and then $5 for the passenger, so it comes out to $20.
That's it. You
20
need to
bucks.
raise the price, man. Come on.
Well-
These people in
you'll
Florida
never
have money.
forget this run. You'll never forget this
It
bike
is
run.
so impactful. Like you
It's
said,
totally something different. And
we stop at the Twins Memorial Site.
Yes, we do.
We have a prayer
Yep.
there. And where else do
and
we
then,
stop?
And then we go out to Inglewood Beach, and then we take the back roads. I believe it's Canopy Road. It's a really nice scenic route. And then we head to the island, Venice Island, and we end up at the beach at Sharky's, and we have a good time out there. We eat, we buy raffle tickets, we win prizes.
Nice.
Sometimes you win something cool for short money. So
Very nice.
And it's $20. Well, it's 15 and then 20 if you have a rider, but you'll certainly take more.
yeah,
Absolutely.
All right.
I
So
appreciate that.
We're
Thank you.
encouraging you to give more.
And give out the website one more time so people know where to
It's a
go.
long one, justagainstchildrendrowning.org.
Well,
Spell
Paul,
it all out.
Thank you so much for coming all the way down here just to be
I
on
know.
our silly little radio show. And Sally, thank you for setting everything up. You did all the legwork for our guests this week. That was awesome of you. And
The message is important, so I
Yeah,
will do it
for sure.
anytime.
Yes, the message is important.
And I want to thank the Fort Myers Beach Fire Department, Rick Martin, Ron Martin. Where did I get
Ron.
Rick from? Set us up with your phone number and helped us get you down here. So thank you very much for everything, and good luck on the run. And let us know about the 5K so that we can come and run the 5K. 'cause-
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Are you
What do you mean? Well, biker, not that kind of bike. No.
Bicycles.
Yeah.
No scooter.
We don't call it a bicycle, Paul. Let's
scooter.
call it a road bike. Come on, man.
How old are you, man? How old are you?
55.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you look good. You give me hope. Yeah, you look good, man. I got a man crush on you.
Oh,
I was like,
stop.
I'm feeling bro love right
Stop.
here. Bromance.
Get out of here. All right. Thank you guys for coming on. We appreciate it.
you.
A big hand
Made
for
him
our
smile.
guests.
Look at that. He's blushing.
Paul
Oh,
and
yeah, you
Sally.
made him
Blushing.
squirm.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Before we tell you our little fun stories,
Fun story.
yeah, from the last few weeks. Thanks a lot, Sally. Thank you again, Paul. I want to tell you about Beach Pottery. Beach Pottery is located at 17980 San Carlos Boulevard, and it's pots, and more pots. And if you need a pot, you better shop at Beach Pottery. Where else would you go? Because you have a selection of thousands. I need to say that 8 times because they have over 8,000 pots at Beach Pottery. That's located at 17980 San Carlos Boulevard. And the phone number is 239-437-4211. And you know why we like the folks at Beach Pottery? Because they have pots from Vietnam. Not from the place where you get the China virus. They have them from Vietnam. Vietnam pots are the best pots. I don't know if you've ever been to Vietnam, but they make some pretty cool pots. And Alana and the folks down at Beach Pottery, they have a carver in the back that does special carving, wood carving, and he carves the trees and he carves this and that and the other thing. And you really need to go down and see it. He does it right there. It's with a chainsaw too. It's super cool. 26 custom color options. And they have home decor, jewelry, gifts, and clothing, a coffee and wine bar. I see it. They have the coffee and wine bar, and they're ready to go. Beach Pottery, located 17980 San Carlos Boulevard on Fort Myers. Now, folks, earlier on in the morning, I don't know if you saw this, but I'm going to play this for you. We went out, and somebody told us there was a lot of shenanigans going on the beach out there. With garbage, and so I went out there to see what they were talking about because there's plenty of people cleaning up the beach. You see them sweeping out here and all that, and so I wanted to play this for you. This is from this morning. You can probably hear the sound. I don't know. You can't hear it, dear, but This is, hope you can hear the sound. This is,
Morning,
I went out
everybody. We're
there
getting ready
to
for
see
our
what was going
show
on.
at
That's one of the
8:45
garbage
today.
bags. Now, this lady
Start
here is
off a little
from
early today, but I
Sarah's
came down
from
on the beach
Indiana,
'cause I
and
heard
she's
Sarah was
just down
down here,
visiting from Indiana,
Sarah's
and
all
she
by
takes her
herself.
kids. She's got a couple
And
of
Sarah,
kids, and
can
they
you
go
take a
down to the
break
beach
from
during
your-
the day. So she was
from your
down here
clean
exercising,
up here? I want
and she
to
said, "I'm not
ask a
bringing my
couple
kids down
questions.
here because there
Sarah,
was
usually
beer
you said
cans
you
and
usually
beer
come around
bottles
Christmas to
everywhere
help clean up the beach.
all along the beach, and so she was out there cleaning it up.
Oh, you're on
and
What
vacation.
time was that?
From
It
where?
was let's see, it was an hour before the show started,
how
so
long
it
were
was
you here for?
7:45. She was out there,
Wow.
And where are you
and
staying?
you can't even really get a good
Very
idea
nice.
of
Now
what
I'm
it
gonna
was.
turn
She's
the camera
basically
around
cleaned
here
up
'cause
the
I
whole
wanna let
beach
everybody
already,
see
and
what
you
you're
can see it
doing.
right over there. That's how
Sarah
much
is
trash.
down here
That
'cause she's
bag,
getting
there was
ready to
another
bring your
bag by
kids
the
down,
beach,
right?
Yep.
and then
And how
all of
many
the
kids you
trash
have?
right there was completely, well, the
How old are
sunshine. Look
they?
at the sun right there. It looks awesome.
Okay,
So
you have to
she's
think
out
about
there
that for a
cleaning it up
second,
all
but
by herself,
10 and
which
11,
was
and
super nice.
What you see
And
down
folks,
here
she's staying
is
at the Harbor House,
what,
and
a mess from
I don't know
last
if you
night
want
is-
to maybe call over to the Harbor House and maybe buy her lunch or buy her a drink ticket or something like that. But she's staying over at the Harbor House, and
And
she's
a big thanks.
yeah,
for
that was
I
was super nice of her. So a
and
couple.
that's pretty early. To
Yeah,
get out
yeah.
there before the regular folks that clean the beach get out there.
I don't know what time they go out there. Well, that's a
don't
Lee
either.
County. That's a Lee County beach. Just to be
Mhm.
clear, that was Lynn Hall Park, and that for whatever reason, do they come later in the day or they? I don't
see-
know. You would
I
think
see
it would
the
be clean
guy-
by then.
No, I see the guy picking up like over by the bathrooms, and I assume he goes out on the beach, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Anyway, thank you to Sarah for doing that, and we appreciate that. Now, tomorrow or Monday, rather, folks, don't forget the town council meets on Monday, and the big issue on the Monday agenda is Myerside. The Myerside public hearing, the second public hearing, is going to be held on Monday. We're going to carry the meeting live, and of course, the former mayor is trying to put together a team to try and squash what they're trying to do at Myerside, and they're trying to add a couple more cottages and upgrade the facility over there, add a restaurant and a little shop for the folks that visit down there. So you want to keep an eye on that and see how that goes. After the public hearing, the council will vote on it, and if they vote yes, then they'll change the zoning so that they can add two more cottages. And also, we've been staying on top of the homeless thing because it seems like the homeless situation is getting a little bit crazy down here.
I mean, I just think it ebbs and flows. I think it's, something happens like oh my goodness,
Yeah.
here's the Easter Bunny. It's a tragedy. And then it gets a lot of publicity and there's a lot of desire to do something different. And then it kind of,
Right. Well, so I've been encouraging people to do is send in a public comment or go to the meeting. If you can go to the meeting, you get 3 minutes to make a public comment at the town council meeting. If you cannot because you have a job, you can send your comments to the council and hopefully they'll read them. And I've been encouraging people to send in comments that say, please read, during the meeting. And now everyone's going to want to get pictures.
and
we'll-
autographs.
yeah, we'll come back to
and-
that. Yeah. And so do you have your phone so we can get a picture? And for those of you
I-
that are listening, it's the John will take a picture for us. The Easter Bunny is here. And you can't really do much with the Easter Bunny because the Easter Bunny doesn't talk. So he can shake his head. Or is the Easter Bunny a man or a woman, dear? Do you know?
I think there is no gender specific.
That's right. Okay,
No-
we're living
no
in the age
specific
of gender neutral Easter
I
bunnies.
remember though being
Gotcha.
down at the Hyatt with Jillian, our daughter,
Yeah.
when at Easter, and then they had a bunny there, and we had to run out Saturday night at like 11 o'clock and get
Yes.
an Easter basket
Yes.
we forgot because we were
So is the
Silly.
Easter I saw the Easter Bunny was out there getting pictures taken and all that. Yeah, a lot of kids out there or adults, mostly adult. Well, you can't answer that. So
got to do
okay.
yes no.
Yeah. So have you got a lot of
Yes,
eggs?
yes.
You're planting a lot of eggs. You're hiding a lot of eggs. You eating a lot of chocolate, or did you catch COVID by chance, or are you clear? No COVID for the Easter Bunny this year.
The bunnies don't get that.
The bunnies don't get COVID.
No.
No. Do you have to wear? Will you be required to wear a mask at any point today? No mask for the Easter Bunny. That's good. Do they make masks big enough for the Easter Bunny? They do. Okay. All right. So What else
I
would
have
you like
no
to ask the
questions
Easter Bunny?
because I didn't know we were going to be graced by the Easter
There, you
Bunny.
never know who's going to show up on this show. One day it's Santa Claus, the next day it's the Easter Bunny. Who knows tomorrow? Next week it might be Ray
I've
Murphy.
never seen a bunny kind of on the beach though.
Bunny on the beach?
Yeah, I've never. Are you running on the beach today?
Will you be running?
Oh.
Did you sleep on a picnic table in Crescent Park? You did. Okay. That's a homeless Easter Bunny. We're little segue back to the homeless thing. All right. Are you busy today, or is tomorrow your busier day? Can't answer that.
Is tomorrow going to be your busy day?
Got to learn how to ask yes or no questions, which is completely the opposite of what you do when you have speaking guests here.
You can't ask open.
Do you know sign language, Easter Bunny? Not really. I don't know what one. Yeah, he doesn't know what he's.
I will tell you, I had the living daylight scared out of me of the Easter Bunny back in Oneonta, New York, at Brzez's department store. When you're a small child and you don't expect to turn around and see a life-size rabbit,
right?
It is
could
a
be
little
startling.
it can be a little startling.
It's kind of that way.
Unnerving.
It's kind of could be that way at Disney too, when you see all those big animals up close or whatever
so
they
please,
are. Yeah.
Don't force your children to get a picture with the Easter
Bunny.
Bunny
Just because you want the picture,
right?
It's because you want the picture of the kid crying like that, so that you could torture the kid when the kid's 15 or 16 years old, and you can say, "Look at what a little baby you were," or maybe that was just my parents when I was growing up. All right, Easter Bunny. Well, happy Easter to you, and thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you hopefully in a year. So, all right, that's one big toothed Easter Bunny. Did you?
That is quite.
Yeah,
that's quite.
I didn't know the Easter Bunny had a vest like that.
That's a beautiful vest.
Oh yeah, that's an expensive Easter Bunny right there.
Yeah, it is.
So let's finish up the show like we said we were going to by talking about the movie we watched. I can't remember if it was on Netflix
and
or.
I have to apologize.
Oh, go right ahead. To me?
No.
Oh.
Ranger Rob asked me to call him about this, and I wasn't surprised.
About
and
the Easter Bunny?
No, about Seaspiracy, and I apologize because I got caught up with some work.
All right.
Work stuff.
Go ahead.
And
apologize so we can move on.
I'm sorry, but
all right. So this movie even was startling to me. Like it was, you see the movies and you wonder what you should believe, or how much of it is hype and how much of it is propaganda. But when they put that net out and they started scraping up every fish that it looked like there was nothing left of the ocean floor, wherever that where was it? I don't even remember where it was.
Well, it's not. It's international.
It was like Japan or something. They're crazy what they do in Japan with the killing the dolphins and the killing the sharks, and then it's nuts. But to see the dolphins in the net when they pull up the fish, to me, that's not really fishing.
To me, that was bad. And what was equally bad, because I didn't really understand that people eat shark fin soup. I guess it's a delicacy in other areas. And so one of the things that I thought was just tragic and so disturbing was that they just, they just take the fin off the dolphin.
And they throw the shark back. Oh, the dolphin.
The shark. And then it's shark fin soup. And then the shark is...
They throw the shark right back in the water, like
they're not going to survive like that.
No,
it's just
that there should be some international law against fishing with a net. It's not fishing. That's like stealing.
I know you said that. No, I think that for them to supply the demand that is out there for fish, you wouldn't be able to do it with a pole.
That should be the rule.
There has to be a more sustainable way to do it, and that movie did dive into.
It wasn't even a movie.
It
was a documentary that some 21-year-old did.
Say they're, dolphin safe, and that where their money is going to. So
it was a big lie.
Big
the dolphin safe thing was a big lie because they had even the company admitted they had no idea whether the dolphins were safe or not.
Now, I read some opposing views put out by the fishing industry about that movie, saying attacking the credibility of it. So I do think it's important with any topic. Thing you hear nowadays, you have to look at both sides. You have to do your due diligence, but there's no denying those videos. I mean,
the fishing thing bugged me.
Were really disturbing.
The dolphin, Oh, you know what
And
really
the
bugged me? The
whales.
Japan thing where they were
I know,
hurting
in
the
that
dolphins in the cove.
I've seen that before.
It's
It's
crazy.
awful.
The people jumping in the water just so that they can suffocate the dolphins and kill as many as they.
All
And
right.
it was like a sport. Like the
Well,
folks
people
were
bringing
watching.
their kids
They were
there.
bringing their kids to watch it. It was very, very disturbing. What's wrong with you people? Why would you kill things like that? It's just nuts.
It was nuts.
Just nuts. All right, dear. We have one more. We have what you got to read your sponsor before we go. So hit it.
All right, Fort Myers Tiki Tours. Go on out for a sunset tour, a dolphin cruise, birthday parties, anniversary, just family fun, spring break fun, sightseeing, team building. Can be for anything. They're over at Salty Sam's Marina, 239-887-0042. A Coast Guard certified driver will take you and your party of up to 6 out, and you can bring your food and your drink, and they will provide the ice and the cooler, and you will go out for a 90-minute tour. Nice, slow and easy. They're all safety managed and cleaned, so give them a call and head out there to see what you can see.
All right. Thank you to everybody for tuning in today, and thank you to all of our guests. And remember to wear a life jacket when you're out on the water.
I also want to thank our good friend Reed at Tires Plus in Bonita. If you have an issue with your car, go see Reed at Tires Plus, Bonita Beach Road.
Who's married to Angela,
Who's
who works
married
here.
to Angie, who works here.
And I would rather catch the coronavirus than go shopping for a car. The car salesmen are the most dishonest people on this planet. They're liars, and this whole
that's
trick.
not true.
This
I
whole
had-
trick that they play, where you tell me what you want, and I have to go in the back room, and they look out a two-way mirror and laugh at you and say, "Okay, I wanted it for $350 a month," and they come out with something that's $700 a month.
I was
it's
at
the worst
Coconut
experience.
Point Ford, and that I was treated very, very nice. No high pressure sales, nothing. So-
I'd rather have a colostomy. What do you call that thing? What am I getting? What's that thing?
Colonoscopy?
Yeah, sorry. A
'Cause you don't want a
colonoscopy. No, I don't want that. A colonoscopy on the beach with everybody looking, then go buy a car, because that's how that's how disturbing that whole process is. There has to be a better way.
There is. You can do it online, and they'll deliver it to you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We will see you in 1 week, and don't forget, we're going to be broadcasting the town meeting on Monday at 9:00. Another exciting week of meetings here on Fort Myers Beach. So stay tuned for that, and make sure you sign up for our newsletter every Tuesday and Friday before 7:00, because there's some fabulous writing by my sidekick here, Tonto. She writes some excellent stories. So tune in to our newsletter on Tuesday and Friday. And next week, we get back to the Community Foundation. They have a brand new cookbook out. We're going to be telling you all about that. And you don't have any recipes in there because you don't have any recipes. All right, everybody. Happy Easter.
Yes.
Bye-bye.